stone, big rock.
Clockmore, and that there's Carlingford Loch.
Right.
We're pretty much in the Mourne Mountains.
We are.
With Finn.
Oh, this is Finn. Okay.
Yeah.
But there doesn't seem to be any pubs around. Oh, he's gone now.
Yeah, well, he's actually dragging us to the pub because we actually have to walk back down to the pub.
He does look like a chronic, all right. Right? Lead the way?
Yeah, back down, mate. It's worth it.
Better be. Sick you lines me.
Come on.
Go.
Welcome to episode 9 of Poor Decisions. My name's Ronan Collins, or Whiskey for Breakfast.
And my name is Michael Cowman, or The Cowman Show.
Yeah, and welcome to another episode from County Down. We are in Fearons Bar. Did I say that right? Fearons Bar. I always struggle.
He hates vowels. He can't pronounce the name of the podcast, can't pronounce any of the names of the bars we're in.
I know.
Where are we, though? What town are we in, at least?
Yeah, so we are in Rostrevor in County Down. So my home house is actually only a couple of minutes down the road.
Nice handy one for Ronan this morning.
Yeah, it was, yeah. I know, thanks guys. So this is Fearons Bar, ... Henry's.
Okay.
That's why everyone struggled to find here this morning.
So yeah, I went onto Google Maps and I actually couldn't find it, so I had to get you to be like, I was like, where is it? So it's Henry's on Google Maps.
Yeah, it was actually that, and if you were typing this into Google Maps, you would type in Fearons Bar ... Henry's.
Oh, that's what it
That's
appears
what
as.
it actually
Okay.
looks like on the actual Google Maps, which is brilliant.
And we're very firmly in Rostrevor as well, because again, we had a coffee this morning in Warren Point. And I was like, so where are we going today? Is it Warren Point? Is it, and you were like, no, it's Rostrevor.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Warren Point's only a couple of minutes down the road, but the townlands and the parish lines are very strict.
And like we're literally on Carlingford Loch.
Mm-hmm.
So right on the border as well. Like for anybody who doesn't really know where the geography of the area, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Carlingford Loch splits the border. So the border essentially is the loch, and we're in the northern side. So yeah, Rostrevor. Here they call it the gateway to the Mournes, because when we walk out that door, you just see the Mourne Mountains, which is pretty amazing.
It actually is. Driving in along here, sunny day today, one of the rare ones, and it was genuinely beautiful coming in. Forestry, mountains, all that kind of jazz. I could see how it is a bit of a tourist hotspot, perhaps.
Yeah,
well, hotspot might be a bit strong.
No, but it's one of the more off the beaten track ones, but it is starting to be a wee bit more touristy. And C.S. Lewis, obviously the writer from Belfast,
Lions, Witches and Wardrobes, yeah.
loves them. It's said that his inspiration was from Kilbrony and the Fairy Glen. So almost that drive-in is the...
The what?
Oh, the Fairy Glen.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a little babbling brook just down the road that enters into Kilbrony Park.
Right.
And they've actually like whittled out of wood like wardrobes and lions.
So there's like lions wandering around.
Not wandering, but they're
Okay.
wooden,
Okay,
essentially.
very good.
But there is actually a beaver, because apparently in Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe there was a beaver. And
yeah.
you should see the beaver. It's actually like a fever dream. It's not good. It's scary. Like, it's super scary. But yeah, so in this area, like, it is stunning. Very, very proud to be here. Like, all of that training I do for all the triathlons is done in these mountains, swimming Carlingford Loch. And you can see it's almost effortless. It's such a beautiful place.
Yeah. Other famous stuff from here? Well, let's just move on past that one.
Other famous stuff, Mary McAleese is from Rostrevor.
Oh, former second female president of Ireland, yeah?
Yeah, we're super proud of Mary McAleese. Big picture of her just behind that door.
Right, very good.
Who else? We've got Pete McGrath, down manager for the Down All Ireland winning team in 1987.
Right, he's your Martin Story, essentially, is he?
That's probably Mickey Linton, actually.
And he's local as well?
Well, he's not too far away. He's only about 10 minutes down the road, but that's Mayo Bridge. We don't talk about that in Rostrevor.
Well, let's move on.
Also international rules manager.
Okay, yeah.
Under 21s All Ireland winning manager.
Bit of a pedigree.
And he still runs Clockmore, that big mountain.
Oh, right. I thought you meant he ran the Clockmore. But what?
It's just you're not on the list, you're not getting in.
What is Clockmore?
Well, in Gaelic it means big stone.
Yeah.
And we're kind of linking in another one of our favourite mates, who is Finn McCool.
The salmon of... So, for anybody that doesn't know, the salmon of knowledge, Finn McCool fished it out of a river.
Stuck his thumb in it.
It stuck, yeah. Had a little lick. And got all the knowledge from the salmon.
Yeah, of the world.
Of the world. He'd be really good at, like, I don't know, Pointless or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I guess. Up there with I probably Cuchulainn as probably one of the most famous Irish mythological figures.
But yeah, so essentially he was fighting a Scottish giant. We all know what Giant's Causeway is, all those rocks. They're some of the rocks that were like staggered as each giant was throwing it to them.
Okay.
But one of them actually got dropped at the top of Kilbrony Park, and we call it Clockmore.
The big stone.
The big stone. Geophysicists have actually figured out it's a glacial rock.
I struggled with that one.
Yeah, but I got it. It was actually a glacial rock coming from Iceland or Greenland.
It was just on its way down south of France.
Yeah, I think it was going to Carlingford for a stag, and it just stopped here.
But yeah, Finn McCool, that is one of the cool stories around him is
he's a big giant.
he was a giant. He was and he went across to Scotland, and the giant he was meant to be fighting was asleep, and so he walks in and he goes, "Jeez, your man's massive. Not having a bit of that." Went home, right? So the giant wakes up, and the Scottish guy wakes up, comes across to Ireland, and so
Finn McCool knows that he's like,
and Finn McCool was like breaking it, like, so he's like, right, don't want any of that. So he tells the wife, right, I'm going to dress up as a baby. And you just tell him that's the child and I'm not home. So the giant walks in and he looks at Finn McCool, and Finn McCool was reputed to be 54 feet tall. The other Scottish giant, sees the baby. He goes, well, Jesus, if that's the size of the baby, I don't want to see the size of Finn McCool. And off he fucks back to Scotland.
what an amazing story. Like that there's Irish folklore.
Yeah.
That could be like a South Park episode.
Could be a great movie in that. I think 54 feet tall.
Yeah.
He'd be a good man to sing pints.
Oh, I'd say he would. Actually, one more famous thing in Rostrevor. It's a bit of a weird one, but on the way in the road, did you see the big monument on the left-hand side?
Yeah.
It's called Ross's Monument.
Right.
After a guy 200 years ago, first guy to ever burn down the White House in America.
So successfully burnt it
Yeah,
down.
he burnt it down, yeah. I think he's been burned down like 3 times. He was the first.
Love that's the claim to fame locally. Anyway, so Fearons Bar,
Yes.
reputedly, like I said, pints. I mean, reputedly one of the best pints of Guinness around.
So they do say, and I must admit, like on Christmas Day, we all go for a sea swim and then come here after, and the pints be flowing, and they're awful creamy pints, you know?
Well, we should probably get someone on to talk to us about that.
Yeah. Who knows the crack better?
Yeah.
So we're going to get Kevin in,
Aye.
who runs the joint.
Kevin, come on down.
Come on down. Kevin.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for letting us come into your bar on such a wonderful day.
Very welcome, lads. Yeah,
Yeah.
pleasure to have you.
Letting us wreck your head.
No, you're dead on your head.
But yeah, we kind of spoke about in the intro. The bar is it's got a curious name on Google.
It's probably got a few too many names locally. Yeah, Henry's, Kavanagh's, Fearons. I suppose like any place it has its own identity, but locals would know it as Henry's. If you said, "Are you going to Fearons?" people would be going, "Where the hell are you going?"
Well, that's what he
You know?
said to me. He was
Yeah.
like, you can tell a local from somebody who's not local, because if they call it Henry's, it's like, oh,
Are you going to Kavanagh's?
yeah.
So Kavanagh's is
Henry.
another step as well.
It's the Kavanagh that married into the Fearn family.
Okay.
So Henry ran it for 70 years in behind the bar.
Sorry,
So,
go again.
70 years in behind the bar, yeah. After coming from the Merchant Navy. So
Good
a man on
seafaring
the
man.
sea, yeah, he's in behind. Actually, at the port and the starboard lights up as well.
No way.
Someone said they're arse about face, but then again, he said it's a dry ship, so it's facing the opposite direction.
That's the thing. There are quite a few little nautical hints and stuff. And so Henry, so he ran it for 70 years in here, and he was genuinely...
Married into the Fearn family and ran it for 70 years. Yep.
And how then did you become the captain of this ship? See what I did
He
there?
knocked the door, 15 years of age, and just said, H, any chance of a job? He says, have you worked in a bar before? And I was like, no, I'm only 15. So he said to me, come here high noon on Sunday, and I'll see you then. So I came down at high noon, and he run down the bar and he thumped it as hard as you like, and he says, the first rule of bar work is, the tide's in, we're out, follow me. And that was it. We went sailing for the day, and I said, what about the Guinness? He said, fuck the Guinness, he said. There's plenty of pubs in the town. So sailed away out on the sea for £1 an hour, still getting paid, and came back in at 6:30, opened up and served the stout, and still here serving stout 30 odd years later. Yeah.
And like that is one of the things you're famous for here as well, is the
Oh,
quality,
yes.
the quality of the stout.
Yes.
Yeah.
About 80% probably the sales. If you had 30 people in here, you could say 28 of them would be on the stout. And maybe someone on like a water. and someone watching someone else drinking a stout and pining
Yeah.
for the stout because they're the driver. So
It's a good place after a wee sea swim.
Oh,
to come
yes,
in
yeah.
and stay warm. So you took over this bar 3 years ago.
Yep.
Was it?
Just over 2, yeah.
Yeah. And it's quite an interesting story because you didn't want it.
No, I'm a carpet fitter by trade, but working here as a hobby for all them years. And then all of a sudden, Henry's passed away, and none of the family wanted to carry it on, so it was going up for sale. And it sort of was quite depressing in a way because it was in the middle of the COVID,
Yeah.
and the shit hit the fan. No one wanted it. And then I sort of got angry when I heard that there was someone who wanted to buy it and take over the license, which meant the place wouldn't have existed. So the history would have been lost. And like if you go to the Fearons, they're back from 1870, but it's right back to 1790 if you trace the history. So to lose all of that in the blink of an eye, with the pandemic, I just sort of thought I'll talk to them and stick the foot in the door and see if I can keep it open. Really, as Henry's, not for me, not for my name above the door, not just to sort of be like a guardian as such, because the amount of people that have come back goodwill and saying thanks, I met my wife here, I brought my kids here, and now my kids have kids. Like I serving people in the early 90s that have children as well, and they have children.
Yeah.
So I'm into the 30 years, and
It's a local institution.
it's an institution big time. It's I hear people going, oh, there's people going, sorry about that, lads. It's Henry. Yes.
What are you saying about me, Mark?
Yeah, Henry, sorry about that. Let me turn that off, lads. I can turn it. You know what? I don't know what to do with it.
No, you're all right. You're all right.
Cut out. Sorry, go on ahead.
But yeah,
You'll probably
so-
phone again. But
It's like your GCSE exams. Whose phone's that?
he's probably phoning me with the answers. He's saying I wasn't here 70 years. I was here 71.
And so, what age was he when he passed away?
94. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Ah.
and he was still here actually when the Southern government closed the bars. We were actually in Whelan's the night before in his Wexford Street.
Yeah.
And came up and he was serving in behind the bar.
Sorry.
Henry's still serving, yeah. He came up on the
sorry,
Sunday
I thought
night.
you meant
from the,
you and Henry were in Whelan's.
No,
the night
no,
before. Like, I thought
no, he hadn't
94-year-old
been, no,
Henry inside
no.
in Whelan's. Like.
No, he was still on the sea sailing, but he was serving that night when we came up, and I says, they're going to close the pub here. They've closed it down south, they close it. And his words were, fuck COVID and fuck the government. So, 94 years of age, that was it. And unfortunately, it's really what he lived for, because in truth, that's what kept him going. Because a month later he passed away, but he was too cute. He avoided the COVID,
Yeah, that was awful depressing. He was better off.
It was sad times, but at the same time he done what he was doing and he loved it. So that's what kept him going. People coming in, and
Well, that's unreal, because there was a pub. I remember there was a pub in Clare called Frawley's, and they always said they had Ireland's oldest publican, but I think he was only about 89. Or so, yeah, so I mean, if he was here till 94, like he must have been.
well, there was a piece done by the Irish News only in the year or two previous about him being the oldest publican. So,
Okay.
Nice.
and everyone that kept bringing the papers in, with the photograph.
Yeah.
He really hated the photograph. He was like, oh, Christ, not another photograph. More stuff to light the fire. He hated the actual photograph. It was terrible. He'd scrump it up. I still have, there was a local guy, musician, brought it in a wee frame. It's actually there behind at the minute.
Oh, yeah.
But how you saying, Alfie, if you want the frame back, you can get it back next week, but that's definitely going in the fire, There's better photographs of him than that, and he hated it, but...
Yeah, there's a fantastic one just in this room, just
that's
behind us.
actually his living room, so it's quite nice to have him there, a good tribute to him. So,
Keeping an eye on it.
an award-winning piece that recently we found that was taken back 4 years ago, and it won a prestigious photography award. I got in contact with your guy from Brussels, the photographer, and after a bit of banter, he actually arrived the week of the Fiddler's Green and presented it to me in the cardboard tube, the original, rather than me copy it off the computer, for a hug and a pint. And as I
Nice.
said to him, you're now an honorary member of Guinness for Life, free from Henry's, and I hope to feck you don't move from Brussels to here, or we'll go out of business.
I heard you mention the Fiddler's Green one, because that what is the Fiddler's Green Festival? Because I know it's like where fishermen go when they don't go to hell.
Well, the Fiddler's Green is, I suppose, there's songs written about it, and that it's an area in the actual old oak forest up here that comes down to hit the sea. But the music festival is an international music festival. It's going on about 35 to 37 years. I'm not sure.
Like I've always
Yeah.
remembered it my whole life.
Yeah, because you two were talking
I didn't
about this
actually know
beforehand,
that.
and I had no. I was like, I'll ask during the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But I had no idea.
Well, I've actually
that was.
done. That was my 30th year in behind the bar, serving in the Fiddler's Green. And Henry said the best day of Fiddler's Green is when they all go home. And he comes out like the Chancellor of Exchequer with the money bag, and the photographs out the front as he holds the money bag, and he says, "That's Ratswick." He says, "That's it. It's paid for." So yeah, it's quite
But
good.
like a music and arts festival that happens here. It's class.
Well, this year they had Luca Bloom and Dervish.
Okay,
And
yeah.
if they always take in a couple of big stars, and then a Hall of Fame award. It's like an award from the music industry. And they put them up on stage, parade them around, and point at them and clap them and just enjoy it. So
Now, you kind of mentioned you're now like kind of the custodian of the bar, which we've actually heard a few bar owners say in the past. But you've kept quite a lot, like the water map, or what do you call
It's a
it?
chart.
A chart, right?
the water map.
The water map. But you've also got the, what do you call it? The
Morse
Morse
code.
code yoke.
That's Henry's. Yeah, he was in the Merchant Navy, Second World War. So
Do you know how to use this?
Yeah, well, I mean, I did learn how to use it, but
How do you
all
say
you're doing-
welcome to Rostrevor?
No, I can do SOS, which is just da 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 da. You know what I mean? Which is just long, 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 short, 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 long, long, long. But like,
Right.
I can't remember any of the rest of them.
Well, Henry actually he insulted a man in here one day that we didn't really like. He was like, "Oh, fuck away off and get your Guinness elsewhere." And your boy swiftly took it around and gave it back to him. "Will you fuck off and get me a pint of Guinness?" And Henry went into hysterics laughing. He was like, "Ah ha ha! How could I not serve the ballocks?" You know, if he knows
Morse code.
He's like, "How did he know it?"
We're all the one, like, yeah.
That the CB radios as a youngster, just that's how he picked it up. But it was quite bizarre to insult a man that with Morse code and for him to quickly come back at you. I think that's like probably a 100,000 to 1 shot.
Yeah, there's not many people left with that skill. I mean, we did it, like I said, I did a Merchant Navy qualification or whatever, and you learn it kind of going, that's Morse code, you'll never really need it, don't worry about it, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, there's not a whole lot of people with that skill anymore.
No, it's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the one off the Cape Howe that he was on in the Second World War. So that's what he took
unreal.
with him before he headed. So
Well, hopefully they didn't
not
need
out
it.
of TK Maxx at £12.
I mean, did they need it, or was he just going, oh, well, I'm taking
No,
it
he
with me?
says no, they don't need it anymore.
War's over, forget
Yeah,
about
that's
it.
it. It's gone. Yeah.
But here, as the bar has developed, like in the past couple of years, like out the back, there's like a part of a distillery, then there's like a shebeen, a big beer garden. Like there's a lot to this place. When you look out the front, you think maybe it's just a wee tiny, like dark pub.
It's the TARDIS. It just keeps going.
It does.
Yeah, you come in through this wee small area and there might be 10 people and you're going like, I'm never going to get in there. And then
Yeah.
you come through and there's more room and more room and more. And then you go out the back. I had people coming in on a Saturday evening going, oh, Pip, it's very quiet here tonight. You know, 6 or 7 people, and they go out through into the beer garden. There's about 60 people out there, and they're playing cornhole. Yeah. Terrible name, brilliant name. But anyway, we're not going to go there.
What did you say is the most expensive thing in the bar?
The old mortise lock off the front door, the original front door of
Which
the
is now the
building,
back door.
Which is now the back door. Yeah, they took it off in about the 1930s, and instead of throwaway society, he put it onto the outhouse. And actually, it's working as we don't call we don't call it a shebeen, but
No.
it's always been a drinking house. It's always
It's
been,
not a shebeen, though.
No, it's not really. Yeah, so it's up there. It's 230 years old. So still with a good lead paint on it. Don't go licking that one.
Noted.
Noted, yeah.
Because Ronan does like to lick a lot.
Yeah, noted. A couple of doors here and there.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we do. I think you've been tipped off about this one. We do a thing every time with guys around the bar owners, whatever, and room 101. So one thing that you want to confine to a room forever from the drinks industry that you never ever want to see again. So you put it in the room, lock the key, lock the mortise lock, and forget about it. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So one thing, what would you put in there, Kev?
Oh, I actually enjoy everything about it, but 1 minute to 11 or 1 minute past 11, you only get the feckin' door closed. Right, you've done your service for the day. You're there from 3, and the next thing, the knocking comes. It's like, oh, flip me, and the knock again. They keep knocking. I try and ignore it, and eventually open it up. And in they come, and they're so sober at the door, and like, oh, I'm only down, I'm only out of the house. Oh, well, all right, come on in. And they get in, and then there's this big smile on their face, and they're actually stained. They look like the Joker out of Batman because you could tell that the red wine was like that. like that, and it was all staining. And then they're saying hello to everyone, and like one pint for an hour and a half, and keep you in there. They're the fucking last to leave.
Yeah.
You know, and I've always said to them at the door, it's like, would you ever go and get your dessert where you got your fucking dinner instead of coming here? So I had three girls come in recently, and they came in right at the end of the very night. Actually, we're clearing out. People are being thrown out, and there was a couple of. It was a 60th birthday party, and the girls came in, actually lifted the shots that the people had ordered and drank them. And I was like Basil Fawlty with the branch, beating them out the door, shouting, out, hurry up, farewell, and yeah, out, F-A-F-Y. And she says, are you serious? And I says, yeah. She says, you're not supposed to be in the hospitality industry. And I says, I am. Between the hours of 2 and 12, get out. She says, I'm going to write about this. I'm going to put this up on Facebook. I says, do whatever the... And I said, we're not coming back. And I says, good riddance, and don't come back.
That is a sketch from Fawlty Torch.
Yeah, well, it more or less was. That's the way it went. You'd be surprised the amount of people just try and come in after hours.
Yeah.
You're even leaving. You're going home.
Yeah.
And lights are off. Everything's done.
Just throw us the keys there. We'll look after it for you.
Sure, we'll serve ourselves. We'll lock up. Yeah, dead on. Yeah, many a time you've done that, but that's maybe with maybe the next door neighbours and the locals.
Yeah.
But not with 3 or 4 random strangers just coming in to take over.
Well, we'll put that in the room. People who come after hours, or just as you're closing, or just as you've called last call, get in the room, get in the bin.
Gone
Go
forever.
get your dessert where you got your dinner.
Go get your dessert. Oh, I like that line.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Well, here, Kevin, thank you so much for
Yeah, cheers, man.
chatting with us.
Okay,
We'll give you a
sure.
call for one of those creamy pints in a wee bit.
Not a bother.
Deadly.
mate.
Yeah,
Cheers,
all
man.
right, lads. Thank you.
Thank you. Snacks.
Snacks. Okay, so today, something you're probably more familiar with. Augustina, snack us.
Oh, yes.
Live in fear now of Augustina's throws.
The Nordy Tayto.
Nordy Tayto. Castle cooked since 1956. Northern Tayto are produced under license, and they're allowed the mascot under license from the company in the south. So the company in the south created Tayto, came up with it, and they basically said to the guys up north, "Oh yeah, cool. You do your thing up north. Don't worry about it." And now, if you're in the north or on
The UK.
in the UK, this is what you'll get. This is Tayto.
So essentially, it was just like, I work well, lads. Like, we're fine. You can have England and the north of Ireland. No worries, signed. So they are different companies.
They are different
but they're
companies.
legally both allowed to use the same name
Yeah,
and
yeah.
branding.
Yeah.
It's made in Tandragee. I've been to many a school trip there.
Is that close by? Is it far away? Is that a real place?
I'm pretty sure it's in Armagh. I always get this stuff wrong. Let's just say it's in Armagh. Yeah, it is. County Armagh. Nice, nailed it. You do school trips there. You have to wear the blue hairnet and the blue thing, as you're going around. And then I remember there would be like, as many... Because they also have Tayto onion rings, which are super tasty. And I remember them all coming out of the bake thing as they were seasoning them. And they're like, lift up your blue apron thing. And they would just...
Sorry, what kind of school trip was this?
Because cleanliness, you weren't allowed... No, you had to so then they would put all of them into one person's and everyone would feed out of it like a trough. But right, so the Northy ones, very excited, cheese and onion.
Okay, yeah, and I think, do you want to open them up?
Yeah.
So you definitely have more flavours up here than we have.
Yeah, I think smoky bacon's one, but that's honestly trash.
Yeah, I mean, I want smoky bacon in my whiskies.
These are good.
Are they? Go on.
We're sharing a pack.
Yeah, well, there's no point opening it. You too, if I can.
But yeah, delicious cheese and onion. A lot of time for them. Grating a crisp sandwich, as we love. As a bar snack, I know where they stand, but you're the
I mean, where do they go in mixed pyramid of snacks? Is the
Where?
real question. They're very good. They're very good. What I'm going to do, right?
So what's on the, so oysters are still at the top. Tayto, Southern Tayto are number 2.
Yeah. And I think that's the realm we're boxing in there.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to do something slightly controversial. I'll get Augustine and Dan to check the rules. I'm not sure if these are better or worse than Southern Tayto because you're not trying them side by side.
That's fair.
So what I want to do is I'm going to put them into the same square.
Oh,
Yeah,
like a
dead
face
heat,
off.
Dead heat, right?
Oh, love it.
So what we'll do on the next episode is we'll do a side by side, and we'll decide once and for all which one's better. Is it Northern or Southern Tayto?
Oh, I like that.
Free Tayto.
Free Tayto, yeah.
Currently, I have my leanings. All right, I'm not going to reveal them.
I think until you have them side by side, we truly won't know, and we'll do it on camera for the world to watch.
Yeah. So, Tayto, all right, in mix pyramid of snacks. We're going to split that square.
So currently joint number 2.
Joint number 2.
Love it.
Finishing section, like Mortal Kombat, the fatality. What are we going to finish up on this week? So we are in what I can only describe as the most distilleries per head of population in the entire country, in County Down here.
Love a distillery.
It's unbelievable, right? So I thought we'd bring back a section, Distillers on the Ditch.
Yes, nice, very good.
I'm gonna throw this one to you because you know far more about this than I do up here in Bandit Country. If you want to tell us about a local distillery.
Yeah, so you're talking about Mourne Dew.
Okay.
Mourne Dew Distillery. So they've essentially got kind of 2 sites. So they've got one in Warren Point where they kind of do all their big, like, stock stuff. And then out the back of here, which I showed you earlier, they've got a wee rotavap.
This was gas in the Shebean part of the pub. Walk out the back and I was like, why is there such a smell of hooch? Like, it was like a distillery.
Yeah.
I was like, because there's a rotavap. Like, I mean, potentially this could be the best cocktail, the best stock cocktail bar in Ireland. Has a rotavap, has everything. Yeah.
You're right. But yeah, so
sorry. What is a rotavap? What does it do for people who don't? Because I don't really get it either.
So essentially, at its core, it's a piece of distillation kit. But because you can layer it, or you can lower it into water, and then you can change the temperature, you can change the vacuum, and you can change the pressure. So essentially, what Mourne Dew use it for is for their gin, so they can put botanicals in it and distill those botanicals in typically neutral grain spirit, and a lot of the botanicals don't burn because they can control the temperature.
So you're getting probably more flavour from the botanicals then, or you're getting a different flavour?
You're getting a different flavour. So let's say you put in something that burns at 60 degrees into a pot still. Your pot still has to hit, obviously, 78 to kind of start working. Chances are you will destroy those botanicals at some point, and then there might be an off taste, a bitter taste, whereas with a rotavap, you can distill this botanical under vacuum at a temperature that suits it and still get the desired effect. So you're almost making like tinctures, and then you can add that. It's like a compound gin. You then add that to your rectified spirit.
Yeah, and a lot of like high-end cocktail bars would use that kind of technology.
Yeah, because as we know, when you distill, colour can't be distilled. So you can distill loads of mad stuff like grass and like whatever you want, even coffee, and you can get like a clear coffee distillate.
Okay.
So, there's a lot of like fun stuff you can do with it, but Mourne Dew use it to add like specific local ingredients to their gin. They've also got a poaching. They've got a hazelnut poaching.
Yeah, I think we tasted that before, didn't we?
Yeah, we did down in Poaching now, actually, which was cool. They've also got a whiskey. Currently sourcing that whiskey. But yeah, in their other big site, they've got their rectifying, and they work on gin and poaching as their kind of whole thing. Big in the local area.
Yeah, I can see that because we came in here and there's a lot of bottles of it, and it's not a brand I would be massively familiar with, nor would have seen a huge amount of around south of the border, I guess.
Yeah.
But there is quite a bit in the local area here, I guess.
There is, and they do like tours and stuff. So all that back area that we just looked at, you can do like.
So you can book in here in Henry's for a tour.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It is a small one, but it's on the ditch.
Yeah.
So, we're just figuring them out, and it's great just to kind of highlight another great distillery.
And I mean, we have to do another 94 episodes in Down to get through all the various distilleries that are here.
Well, yeah, this was a good one. I really enjoyed coming here. I'm glad I got to show off the local.
Rolled out of bed 10 minutes ago and came down.
Yeah.
It was cool to be in your local area and your local as well, so.
And here, thanks for watching episode 9 of Poor Decisions and Fearons ... Henry's.
Yeah.
Or
Thanks for
Kavanagh's.
watching, listening. Hit that subscribe button wherever you are. Go on to Instagram.
Yeah, let us know. What do you think is going to win? Tayto, Northern Tayto versus Southern Tayto? Or even like what bar would you want us to do next?
The fight of the century.
Fight.
All right. Sláinte.
Ciao for now. Bye.